everyone, and welcome back to Heart and Soul Homes. Today I am going to work with planting in pots, and so I wanted to show you guys two different ways of how I do my planting for pots. Now this is a fern that is going to be on the back patio in the shade. It was a hanging basket actually, so that's kind of why I wanted to show you the differences in how you can take a hanging basket and plant it into a pot with not that much difficulty at all. So I'm going to show you kind of some of my tips and trades to doing the best pots possible. Now this goes for any kind of planting of a pot. You always want to obviously choose a pot that's going to fit your plant or your plants, you know, and where it gives them a little bit of room to grow. But the important thing is you get rid of any of your old dirt. Always start with new dirt, even if it, you know, the potting mix only lasts for about 6 months, which means it has the nutrients that your plant needs for 6 months. Okay, so when you typically pots are seasonal, you know, you do pots as the seasons change. So when you change them, make sure you change your soil, because just dump it out, or if you're going to use it, you know, put it out in your landscape or something. But when you're planting in pots, always start with your fresh dirt, which then leads me to the next thing. You know, when you go to your local garden center, you're going to find potting soil, organic. You're going to find ground soil. You're going to find ground topper. You're going to find manure. You're going to find all kinds of things. When you're dealing with planting in pots, all you want to use is the potting soil. I have a bag here just to kind of give you an idea. Brand, you know, there's certain brands, you know, it's whatever you want to use. Okay, so I don't use organic soil when I'm using for pots, unless it's going to be something that's edible. Okay, for me, that's my own personal choice. But when you're using, you know, pots and you're planting in pots, you've got to use a potting mix, and it will say it has fertilizer in it. Okay, and you'll see the potting soil will have little white dots, and it'll have this and that. That's nutrients that the plants need and it lasts about 6 months. So you want to make sure you don't use ground dirt or garden soil or whatever they are naming it in your pots. You want those pots to have a good amount of nutrients. They're in a very combined location for periods of time, and they need that extra fertilizer. So potting mix is a must. Now, the second thing that I suggest, and I've talked about this before, is I use, in any pots that I'm planting, I use a slow release fertilizer. And this is heat activated, okay? So you wouldn't use this in the winter, typically. Even I don't. Sometimes I do, but typically it's spring and it's summer plantings, because this is heat activated. And so when your plant is, there's warmth and there's heat, you know, in the spring and the summer, that activates. So this is just an addition to the fertilizer that's already in your potting soil. But I find I have great work when I use, especially this one. This is a proven winners, but it's a slow release, continuous release when I'm potting my pots. So the other thing I wanted to touch on, okay, so this was a hanging pot, right, or a hanging plant. So it had, you know, these things in there. It was like this. All you gotta do is cut those off at the base, okay, and then you're ready to plant. So okay, so I'm just going to, now I've got my potting soil and it's ready. So what I'm gonna do is take my pot, and your pots, you want to make sure have drainage holes. That's important because the water needs to be able to drain out, you know, during watering. And I'm just going to put about this much in. If you can see, it's about to right here, because I don't know how much of the root ball and stuff I'm going to have with this plant. So what you want to do is just kind of gather up the base of the plant. Okay, kind of just see where you're at, pull it so you can pull it out. And I typically kind of just upside down here we go. Okay, so here's our base of our plant. So it's gonna go straight right down there, and actually I'm gonna pull that out because I'm not ready to totally put it in there yet. I just wanted to see the size. I'm gonna get my slow release fertilizer, and I'm gonna just sprinkle it all in there, mix it around in the soil. Okay, and now I'm ready to plant this down, and it actually fits this planter actually perfectly. So as easy as that, I've got this one planted. It's got the slow release fertilizer in it, and it's ready to go. Isn't that a gorgeous fern? So I'm gonna put this one to the side because the next step would be watering it in. Okay, so I use my back table as my working. So I'm just going to put all my garbage into this pot and just kind of sweep through here and get all of that taken out. Okay, so I've got my next pot here. Okay, so I'm going to fill up my designated amount. That's odd, found a piece of metal in there. That's kind of weird. Okay, so I'm going to put my dirt in. Okay, then I know now, because of the first one, my size is absolutely perfect. So now I'm just going to put in my fertilizer. Okay, mix it in. And I'm going to take my plant here, and like I said, I just kind of bunched it up at the bottom and kind of tip it to the side so I can just pull it right out. And this baby just fits perfectly down in this pot. It doesn't get any better. I'm going to look at this over, kind of snip off any, oh, it just already came off. Okay. Snip off any pieces that look like they need to be taken off. Okay. How are we looking here? Looks pretty good. It's a little difficult to do these from behind. I'm going to snip off some of these little pieces here. Looks like they're just little twigs. Ah, and it's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. So before I water those in, I wanted to mention, now I'm doing a slow release fertilizer as I plant the pot. It's got potting soil that has fertilizer in it, okay? But during the growing seasons, which, you know, are going to be, for most of us, is going to be, you know, through spring, summer. I'm still growing and plant, you know, because I'm in Arizona, so I am still having growth, you know, in the fall. But winter, you know, I don't fertilize. But on a weekly basis, I go in with a water-soluble fertilizer. I have a little pump machine, and I go in and I do all my pots. Okay, so I'm getting the best results because I am not just, you know, planting the plants in, putting some fertilizer, potting them in potting soil. I'm actually going in and then weekly fertilizing them as well. So they're getting a lot of feed, and that's what they need. So, you know, it's up to you how far you want to take this. You know what I mean? How far you know, how much time you want to put into that. But fertilizing makes a huge difference. That's just all I'm going to say about it. It really does. But again, it's up to you as far as how much time you're willing or able to put into the garden. When you're establishing a large garden like this, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's, you know, every single day there's something to do and multiple things to do. So I just tell you that, you know, as a advice ahead of time. It's a lot of work. So if you know, you just want to have some pots around and you want to put the starter fertilizer and then just water, that's awesome. And go, you know, do that. That's fine. And you're going to have probably a lovely pot. But if you're wanting, you know, to really enhance and, oh, you know what I mean, and really get the best out out of your pot, you're going to want to fertilize every week. So I'm going to move on. I'm going to get my other pots that I am going to be potting up, and we'll get to that one. Okay, so before I move on to the next step, I'm going to water in. That's very important. You want to get all of that soil rooted down. You want to activate the fertilizer. So just give it a really nice overhead water, which is what I'm doing right now. And then you're ready to set your pot wherever you're desiring to put it. Isn't that just a gorgeous fern? Oh, my goodness. Okay, before I move to the next pot, I wanted to get a close-up here and show you inside here. Now, this is a different kind of pot. This is a self-watering pot. So the idea is you put, your soil goes in here, and this is where you fill up the water, okay? And it will feed for about, gosh, I'm thinking probably here in the heat of the summer, maybe every 4 days, 5 days. I'm going to check on this, but you put your soil in here, and then you don't have to overhead water, or it's not going to be on a drip system because there isn't the drainage to, to get rid of the water. But it just is, a self-feeder is actually better for a plant because it goes from the base, from the root ball up. So that is actually a better. I got these. It's such a cute little design, isn't it? Little blue basket weave, very cottagey. I have 2 sizes. I have 2 of these and 2 of the smaller ones. So this is the same exact thing. You can see down there, this is where the dirt goes, the reservoir, and then that's the water. So these are really cute. I got these at Gardener Supply. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of a look at how those are set up. So for my next set of pots, these beautiful blue ones, all I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring the bag, since I'm going to need to put a little bit more in and not fill it up, but I want to get a nice, and then I can always add more, although dirt is kind of a pain to have to add to once you've started in a pot. So anyhow, I think I'm good. So again, I'm going to put my slow release fertilizer in, work it into the soil, just rub it around. Okay, now the other pots, okay, there was just one plant, right? We just put that plant in. These are a little bit different because they're going, there's more than one plant going in here. So what I chose is, I got this, it's a salvia. It's a blue purpley color salvia. Okay, it is full sun, which these pots will have full sun, and which means 6+ hours of sun when you read that on your cards. Blooms spring, summer, and fall. And for me, it does on winter too. It says water 2 times per week, more often when dry. So obviously, I'm in Arizona, it's 110. We need to water a little bit more than that. But, just go through your guidelines. Now, when I am planting, it is very common. It doesn't mean the plants, there's a problem, but it's very common for them to, kind of have a little bit, dryness or something come on, you know what I mean? Like, you just clean it up a little bit. It's okay. It doesn't mean the plant's bad or anything like that. So when I'm doing a pot like this, I choose a centerpiece, a filler, and a spiller. Okay, those are the easy ways to remember. Centerpiece, filler, spiller. Okay, so your centerpiece is going to be the thing, the main, your height. You know what I mean? Your centerpiece. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is use, what was I going to do on this one? I am going to use this. Now this is a pentas. Okay, and I just thought this pretty pink and purple would just be really nice. And then, so this is going to be kind of like a filler in a sense. Okay, this again is full sun. So I chose all these because they're going to be in full sun, same as the salvia. So I'm just going to kind of clean off anything that I see that kind of just needs a little cleaning. So this is going to be the next one. And then I'm going to come in. I may come in with some of these vincas. I couldn't think of the name. Vincas, okay? And maybe the darker pink, purple. But these creeping jennies are going to be my spiller. They grow, they're beautiful, and they're going to come over, okay? So that's how you get those beautiful baskets, is that you have, that's how you design it. You have the centerpiece, you have a filler, and then a spiller, okay? So let's get planting. I'm going to show you this one kind of in slow motion, or not slow motion, but you know, regular time. So I don't really need to rough up the root ball here. I just want to make sure I'm at the right height of my plant, or my pot, and I am, okay? So then I'm going to come in with the pentas, and I think you're going to see more of this plant, or this pot, coming from the front, so I'm going to use maybe the vincas around a little bit. But this creeping jenny, oh my gosh, I have used these, and they are the most gorgeous green, but just, oh, they're just such a pretty plant, and the way they spill over is really, really gorgeous. I got these at Lowe's. I've seen them at, you know, a little more higher end retail gardeners, you know. So I have seen them kind of all over, but I found these at Lowe's, and because I've used creeping jenny before, I just knew I wanted them. I just absolutely love them. Okay, so I'm filling in that. I'm going to fill in kind of some from the side, because I want to be able to see this from every angle, but I also know that the majority of what you're going to find, or what you're going to see, is going to be from the kind of from the front. Okay, so I've got my spillers. Now I'm going to come in with these vincas and just kind of fill in with a little bit of a color that goes with it, but it's contrasting. See how it's a beautiful purpley pink with the light pink, and then the purple, or the purple of the salvia. Okay, oh my gosh, this is really, I can't tell all the way from the front. It's kind of weird doing it from the back here. But I think that is a gorgeous combination. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take and fill in a little bit of dirt, and you just have to go slow. You know, when you're adding dirt to a planter, you just have to go slow, because you can make a huge mess, you know, if you just start dumping in dirt. And you just want to be able to pack that down so that there's not the air pockets, and it's not, you know what I mean, it's packed in there. And you'll be able to tell when you water in, you'll be able to see this, when you water in the plants, you'll see if anything's sunk and that you need to add some more dirt. That's another good reason to water in after you're done potting, because you just need to be able to see if you have everything just right. So, you know, when this fills in, it's going to fill out, and it's going to come over, and it's going to go up. So I got to clean the pot off a little bit, but you can see how gorgeous is that pot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do all the rest of them. I'm going to do this smaller one, speed it up, and then we'll do the bigger one. Okay, so for these big boys, whoops, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill the dirt. in perspective, remember that this is a very tall pot, yes, but the reservoir is only to about here, okay, as far as the dirt. So you're not having to fill. That's a nice thing too. You're not having to fill the whole thing up. The reservoir is about right here. So that's a nice feature too. Okay, so I'm gonna add my slow release fertilizer in here. Work it in. Okay, now for these pots, I'm gonna go a little bit different. I am doing a purple fountain grass. I love a fountain grass for a centerpiece because I pop them out and I put them out in my landscape and they just thrive. They get huge. So, you know, and I can do that with the salvia too. And I've done it with almost everything. I put it in little areas when they're, you know, when it's kind of done in a pot. I put it out in the landscape and they do great. So fountain grasses are a great alternative. But this is a purple fountain grass. It's pretty rooted, you can kind of see. So I'm just gonna gently open it up a little bit, not anything crazy. Kind of dig my well so I have it at the, you know what I mean, the centerpiece. I'm here. Oh, this has kind of got big. So I'm gonna go ahead and that's gonna be my centerpiece. For these, I chose, this is a Mesa Bright Color blanket flower. And look at these beautiful little combs. Isn't that gorgeous? But a really pretty, just a yellow, just a beautiful plant. Full sun. Again, I chose all my flowers depending on where I'm putting this. Oh my God, look at that. Look at that root system. Okay, so that needs to get just teased a little bit. We don't want to hurt them. Okay, so I'm going to put this one off to the side so it kind of just comes out of that purple grass. That's going to be gorgeous. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my Diamond Frost Euphorbia. I love this stuff. If you saw my little DIY for my planters that I kind of aged them in a tripod type of plant stand, I used only this. And they're just so whimsical and beautiful. I just love this plant. It's a Proven Winners Diamond Frost Euphorbia. I found this again at Lowe's, so that was off, you know, that was great. But, you know, specialty, you're gonna find Proven Winners more at specialty garden centers. But sometimes I do find it at Lowe's and Home Depot. Okay, so I've got those two. So those are my two, like, filler in a sense. Now I'm gonna come in with some of this white vinca. And I think the white and the yellow and then the green of the, I think the vinca with the white with the Diamond Frost Euphorbia is gonna just really set that off. So you just got a little bit of white coming through the grass. Where could we use it to? Let's do it over here. Okay, so this is just really looking gorgeous. Okay, so now I wanna still use my Creeping Jenny. So I'm just gonna cut this off a little bit. And I might add some more white in there, but I just wanna get my, I just wanna make sure I've got my Creeping Jennies in here as well. And I wanna make sure I have enough. So what I'm gonna do actually is only do two, one on each end so that it can spill out. And then I'm gonna fill in with my white vincas, since I'm not using as much Creeping Jenny. Let's see, a little bit more over here. Oh, this is gonna be so glorious, I think. Okay, and you have a little bit of hint. It's not as strong on the back, but we'll put that to the back. The strong of the Creeping Jenny's in the front. Ah, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, so I'm just gonna add, I'm making quite a mess here. I'm gonna add a little bit of dirt in the middle here. Okay, just to make sure I've got all of the roots safe and good, and tap that down a little bit. Aha! Look at this from this angle. A little bit more back there. Isn't that gorgeous? Really, 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 really nice. Okay, okay. Yeah, that just looks so gorgeous. Love it. I love this yellow too. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be great. Okay, I'm gonna do this last one. We're gonna speed it up and then we'll water it in and we'll place them. Okay, so this one is done. Oh my gosh. Look at that. I don't know if you can see it all the way around. The yellows and the pinks. It's a little bit, I did a little bit brighter of the pink. I think that's okay. You know, and I might even put them in 2 separate spots. So, you know, that's probably okay. I love the color combination. So I'm gonna water them in, just overhead water them in, and then I'm gonna place them. Okay, so here is the first set. It's not the best lighting, I do apologize for that, but you can see how beautiful this little area is. I'm gonna try it out with splitting them up, but I might move them back just to make a bigger, you know, impact. But aren't they sweet? I think they're really gonna be beautiful out here by the pool. So this is this set, and this is the other set, and I kind of just chose to put it over here for now for this little fun little area. This is kind of where we sit, so you know, in conjunction, this is kind of our lounging area, and then we have this little area, and this is the bathroom access into the powder room. But I just thought this was sweet with the pinks and the purples and stuff. I thought this would be cute over here, but again, I may move them back together again. Isn't that just a beautiful set? I'm just loving these. So let me take you to over by the ferns. Okay, and as I mentioned before, these are on our back covered patio. So here's this one. I just stuck a cute little flag in there. And then you can see the other one right over there. And it's just a really cute little addition. Really, that green of the fern just really pops nicely, I think. So that is our second one. Okay, I am done for this project. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I gave you some valuable information on how to just do a really easy but beautiful pot, and the things you can do, the tips that you can use that can really make it into a growing, beautiful, beautiful pot. Please make sure that if you're really enjoying this content, please go in and subscribe and like and share, and give me some comments on what you think, or show me some of the ideas that you've done in your garden. I would love to hear from you. So please, and also always in the link below is always where you can get the different fertilizers that I love and that I use, and also my blog. And I would love for you to sign up and get the weekly just the weekly updates, and we go into depth a little bit more on some of the videos. And then a lot of times, I think we have about 6 printables up right now, free printables. So I would love you to take advantage of it and come over and check it out and see what you like and subscribe. I hope you have an awesome day. Thanks. See you in the next one. Bye.